All right, we're going to start multiplying and dividing functions. There's a couple functions. We're going to multiply them. That's what that means. The f times the g of x is the same as the f of x times the g of x. And it's just like multiplying regular polynomials. There's the f of x. There's the g of x. You're going to multiply them. 2x times x squared is 2x cubed. 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. 3 times x squared is 3x. And the last one, of course, is negative 6. And we put them in ascending order. By that I mean the larger the exponent comes first, right? So we just go down in descending order. It looks nice. You know why we do that? No reason. It just looks nicer. So that's the f of x times the g of x. Okay, the function division is where everybody, including myself, we get stuck. There's a different f of x and a different g of x, and when we divide the functions, we got to make sure that the g of x never equals 0, because that would break the rule and the math police would come and pound us on the head. So right off the bat, the domain of this function, you should realize, is that the g of x can never be 0. So here's what it looks like if we put it in regular division form. And the domain is any real number except for 6. Okay, that's what that means. But let's go, how do you divide these guys? Let's go ahead and set it up like a regular division problem, right? X plus 6. How many times does that go into this big function? You'll notice that we have an x cubed and an x squared, but not an x to the 1. We need to add 1 to make it easy, so we just put a coefficient of 0, right? We haven't changed anything. So how do you do these? You do this. You take the variable x. How many times will a single x go into the first term? In other words, some number times x gives you 2x cubed. It has to be 2x squared, right? And then you just multiply it out like a regular division problem, right? 2x squared times x is 2x cubed. 2x squared times 6 is 12x. And remember, you have to subtract this whole amount. So put parentheses around it and then subtract it. I always change my subtraction problems to add the opposite. You'll notice that the 2x cubes cancel out, but not the x squareds. We got negative 8x. And then we bring down the next term. We repeat the process, right? What times x will give you a negative 8x squared? And that is a negative 8x. Isn't that amazing? And then multiply it out, right? So negative 8x times x is negative 8x squared, and then negative 8x times 6 is negative 48x. Same thing, you're subtracting everything. I always add the opposites because I'm lazy, but they cancel out very nice, except for the x's. Repeat the process. Drag down this guy. 48 times x gives you 48x. Multiply 48 times 6, and I think you get, what is that? 24288. Okay, parentheses, subtract the whole thing, and you get a negative 291. How do you write that up is, and that's a remainder. If you remember your back in 3rd, 4th grade, you can write it out as a remainder equals 291, but now we're in college algebra. We don't write it like that. We write it like this. Okay, there's the remainder, negative 291 divided by the divisor, and that's your answer. MGZ, out.